Hello everyone, Alien Volt here, and let's talk about recoil in modern shooters. Alright, let's get into this. Now, when we talk about recoil, most shooters, at least modern shooters, are going to have it. Why? Because weapons have recoil in real life. Now, older games like Day of Defeat didn't have ADS or iron sights. You couldn't really implement the aiming down your sights of your weapon and bringing the weapon up to your cheekbone. That transition, the technology just really wasn't there to do it in engine, at least, and do it well. So they limited that to basically sniper rifles and sometimes like rocket launchers, things like that. Everything else was usually just hip fire. However, as technology grows, the capabilities of what you can do in the game also grows with it. And as doing such, ADS, or iron sights, are basically common expectations of modern shooters, especially militaristic shooters. Whether it be a first person or a third person, you expect to see that. So now in games, just like in real life, every time you fire a round, you're going to get recoil from the weapon being pushed back. And just like my shots here in Battlefield 1, if you don't try to manage the recoil and you just fire, you'll see the rounds walk right up the wall because of the recoil that's pushing the gun back as it's firing. Now, the goal of most developers is to try to create a balance between realistic gunplay and ballistics of ammo to fun gameplay, because they want to make a fun game. They want people to enjoy playing their game. And that's where your mainstream games usually come into play, like Battlefield and Call of Duty, because they do a very good job of balancing gameplay with realism. And because of that, they sit right in the genre middle. You know, on the far left you've got arena shooters like Quake, and on the far right you've got military sims like Arma. But in the middle you've got games like Call of Duty. Whether it's, you know, Infinite Warfare or Modern Warfare Remastered, the performance of the weapons and the balance of the recoil is the same. Now, of course, when using ADS or iron sights, there is a penalty to it. It's a push and pull system. Now, you gain control over recoil and your accuracy improves, but at the same time your field of view shrinks and your movement slows. So it's not a win-win situation. You actually are penalized somewhat for using it, but at the same time, for slowing down and taking the time to do that, you're rewarded with more accuracy, just like in real life. Now, one of the games that I feel does it the best is Insurgency. Insurgency is a great example, and they're known for their gunplay because it's the most realistic feeling gunplay I've found so far in video games. It feels really good. And they do ADS very well. If there was any game I wanted to show to the developers of Days of War, it would be Insurgency. Take a look at it. It's got the recoil you want in your game, as well as controlled and functional ADS. Even third-person shooters like Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands gets it right. Modern shooters get it right. If you want to develop a shooter that's going to work, that's going to be popular, that people are going to have fun and play, if you're going to put ADS in it, and you don't have to, I mean, if you don't have it, then there's no expectation for it to work right. But if you do implement it, make it work. Make it functional. And that's really my main problem with Days of War today, is that they don't really seem like they care or want to improve this. It's like they put ADS in there to satisfy people. Look, we've got ADS. But we're not even going to make it work as good as hipfire. It's going to be worse. So it's going to be harder to control and harder to hit targets if you actually use it, but it's there for you. So now you can aim down your sights like a modern shooter. But it doesn't work. If you implement something and make a broken game and release a broken game, no one's going to play it. except for the people that have no expectation of using ADS to begin with. Now, I like this game. I think they're doing a really good job with it. I like the maps, I like the graphics, but if they can't fix their mechanics and make ADS work, I'm not going to play it. And where there weren't very many modern World War II games last year, there seems to be an abundance of them this year. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully they'll work on this game and improve it, and I'll see you next time.